Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Market Watch. So, today we're going to look at Apple. So, Apple had announcements of their product launch yesterday, and it had its VR glasses. Now, to be fair, it looks really, really good. But again, it doesn't look like the finished product. It doesn't look like it's there ready yet. Concept looks good, the technology behind it looks good, but it's just a matter of time as when they can actually get this out in mass production, and whether you want to be the first to get it, or are we waiting for number two or number three till the actually technology and everything is all up and running correctly, and the use cases of it is up and running. So that's something we sort of have to take into consideration. It's their first product launch in 10 years, which is phenomenal for a company that is as big as Apple. Now, forgetting about the product launch, forgetting about all that sort of stuff. Let's look at it from a technical standpoint. So this is a trend line. We're looking at a bounce, 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 bounce. There's a trade that we took. It went up, hit our 3 to 1 take profit quite quickly. And if we zoom out a little bit, have a look here. We are sitting on our record high. So yesterday, there's no coincidence. Yesterday, look, it went up, hit that record high, and then rejected. Okay, so what do we expect to happen next on this? Are we looking for a short on the likes of Apple? Are we looking for a short? Is this something we should be looking now to have a big sell-off? We've had a really good run on this from the beginning of 2023, so January. So if we look at this from January down here up to the high, is 48% run. So it's a 50% growth on this. So it's done something really, really well. It's one of these stocks that I touted at the beginning of 2023 to have a really, really good run. And look, it's almost 50% up. Now, with this run, we also get pullbacks. So we get pullbacks after these things. So the question is Apple now ripe for a pullback? And why? Because these areas are areas where we are going to see pullbacks. We're going to see these rejections. These are key levels that we expect to see this happening. Now, as we can see, it's bounced once, come back down, hit a second time, so there was a double top, rejected, and now it's hit a triple top. So what we have to do is we have to try work out where are the next areas that we may see some sort of rejection. And by bringing this over here, we may see something there. That's where we may see some sort of a rejection again to the upside. Now, that is historical. Now the question is that far enough for a clean pullback? Is that good enough for a clean pullback, or do we expect it to come down a little bit further? There's a horizontal level there as well. So we've had 1, 2, 3 touches, and at those 3 touches, and for me, that would be a much better level. Why? Because this one here is too close. It's not. We've had a huge bar yesterday off the back of the product launch. This level here for me is too close. This one here seems to be just a much better level. So I'll zoom back in here as well. That would be in the area of this. So see this double bottom? So we have a little bit of a zone. So that's where I would be anticipating this to drop to. So down to here. That's where I'd be looking for this to come back to. If that come back to there, that's where I'll be looking to take my trade on Apple if I was looking to get in on this. So this is a setup on Apple. So we're looking at another setup, which is Microsoft. So if we have a look at Microsoft, it's very, very similar to Apple. It's had this massive run from the beginning of 2023. And we can see here from here up to here, again, up to the high, we're 50% up as well. So this is something that has taken off. And if we have a little bit of a zoom out, again, there's the record high. Now, you could say to me, Henry, that there's a level just slightly below it, which is there. meant to get a horizontal, not a trend line. You could say to me that there's another level there, which there is. Right there's a level as well. And we're getting back into that area. So are we expecting a sell-off on the likes of Apple and the likes of Microsoft? And again, once we get back into this area, I would expect so. Now the question is Apple weighted enough on the likes of the S&P and the Nasdaq to actually pull this down? Is this we're going to have to sell off before it hits there? And that is a $64 million question. If we look at yesterday's bar is a really small doji bar. There's a little bit of a wick on the top of it, which tells me that there's a potential slowdown here. So we had 2 selling days, we had a buying day, and then we had an indecision day yesterday. Now today's bar is too small. It's not something we're looking at, but this is something to keep into consideration. Is it going to hit its head here and then have a pullback, or are we looking at this for a pullback straight away? And the last one we're going to look at is Boyd Gaming. So Boyd Gaming again has had a really good year so far. So from the beginning of 2023, we're looking at this up to the high. It was up 25%. So where it is today is up 26%. If I zoom out and have a look at what's gone historically, look, it's already hit that historical level. So the question is this has already hit its record high and rejected. Will we see that same rejection on Apple? Will we see that same rejection on Microsoft? There are the questions that we're looking for. Are we going to get that same rejection there? Or are Apple and Microsoft going to continue breaking through? But if we have a look at this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. And unfortunately, on the daily chart, we have missed this. So this, for me, I'll be trading this as a CFD, not the underlying asset. If we go on to the weekly chart, if you trade this on the weekly, now this is earnings. So this white line is earnings. So this is where price is, and that's where earnings are. So as long as earnings are above the exact price, then absolutely. So if we go on to the weekly chart, there is a long on this on the weekly chart. You'd be entering more or less exactly where it is. Stop loss will be going underneath the weekly bar here. And I'd be looking for a 1-to-1 before it hit that high. And that would be exactly a 1-to-1 before it hit that high there. Now, the beauty of this is that this looks like it's pushing up. It looks like it's going to hit this take profit. It looks like it's going to break through that ceiling. The question is this the area it's going to bounce up, or is it going to hit this, come back down and break through again? So as long as these highs getting higher, we'd expect it to break this ceiling. We'd expect this record high to be broken. And it's just a matter of whether it happens today, whether it happens tomorrow, whether it happens in the next couple of days. So that's something we're looking at, and whether the trade allows us to be in it while it's breaking it. If we get close to this one here, I'd be moving my stop loss inside break even and then taking my take profit up. I'd be taking my take profit up potentially into this earnings zone, the $70, the $80 mark here. So that's where I'd potentially be moving it. But again, we have to get close to that 1-to-1 first, and then we can amend and edit our trades as we see fit. If you like what you've seen here, click on the like or subscribe button. We have opened up the trading floor here in Mayfair in London. So anyone who wants to come and have a session with us, don't be afraid to give me a shout. All right. Thank you very much. Hope you have a lovely evening.